framework and then the K?
Yep. Okay, is anyone not ready? Okay, awesome. All right, so on the framework debate, what we're going to do here is we're going to get the link from this when they say that what they're doing is still affirming the act of prostitution. That's where we get the link to go into the criticism. We'll concede that we didn't pull across the impacts, but I still want to pull the link out of the framework debate. But you can get the rest of the, pull across their stuff as well. And then we'll pull the method out of there too, and I'm going to go more into method on the criticism. Let's go over to the K-flow now. All right, so on the framework debate, when they say that, they're affirming this idea of prostitution, that is, if you're going to buy that they're still, being under the resolution, that's the link to the criticism. That's where you need to look on the flow, where you're going to find to, vote for the negative team. Okay, we're going to go on to the perm debate. Okay, so she says that you can do the plan and then do the alternative. There's no way that you could ever possibly do that. That's our O'Connell evidence, or that's the Cuomo 96 evidence that talks about responding to it later causes error replication and the movement burnout. We cannot do the affirmative and then still expect to reject capitalism. It just won't happen because we're going to keep going through this cycle that we're currently in, where we're in this grip of this capitalist society. And there's no way for us to move away from it without taking steps to reject it. That's what our role of the ballot does. It says that every time that we see this capitalism, that we should reject it. This is the instance of capitalism in the round, and thus you as the judges should reject it. So she says that you could also do both. There's no way that you can do both. That's the O'Connell evidence. Prostitution is requires this constant process of self-commodification. That is the heart of capitalism right there, is when one is selling themselves. Out of anything else, that is where capitalism is beginning. So there's no way that they can do something that's inherently capitalist while at the same time rejecting it. Okay, let's go on to the impact part of the flow. Kayla and I would argue that all of the impacts from the affirmative are stemming from capitalism. That's the root cause of all of them. And if we take this time to reject capitalism, that means that we are able to solve back for all of their impacts. Now this is where I'm going to go in and talk about method. What they're saying that they want to do, and I feel like if both my partner and I are still confused about this at this point in the debate, is that they want to go and rewrite these myths about sexuality. I don't feel like that is the effective method for what they are trying to achieve, and I don't think that they have effectively portrayed how that method is going to work. Like my partner was saying, that you can talk about rewriting the myths as much as you want, but when you actually need to take a physical step to go and change these mindsets, their method simply isn't clear. Okay, let's go on to the ontology part of the debate. They failed to answer this in the last speech. What the Oksala evidence is talking about is that people are going to be profit-driven. We need to break away from this idea of a capitalist, profit-driven society, because that's just going to lead to their impacts again and again and again. When we affirm this idea of prostitution, that's when we see that as long as we are still profit-driven, you're still going to have the impacts of capitalism. They failed to answer the role of the ballot debate. They didn't really say anything on that throughout the whole debate. What we need to do is that the ballot should go to those who free the grip of capitalism on debate. We give you the best method to do that. We say that you should take these acts of resistance towards the capitalist system by rejecting it, and they give you no way to do that. They give you no way at all to reject capitalism in the debate space, and that's what we are able to do. So as an underview, we see that they, the impact debate on the criticism. When we talk about these everyday parts of violence that Nixon and 11 and Cuomo 96 talk about, those are huge. Those we would argue would outweigh the impacts of the framework debate, and that's where you should value that, is that when the alternative is able to solve for all of the impacts impacts, that's where you should be voting negative on. Yeah, so on the framework debate, like, as long as they will, like, go, like, will concede their framework when they say that they're, like, affirming prostitution, if that's where they're going to get their framework from. The impacts of the criticism outweigh the impacts of the framework. You should still vote for those who reject capitalism on debate, and they give you no way to do that. Thank you.